Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Gianluca Masi speaking on the behalf of the Virtual Telescope Project, and I'm happy to start this feed while we scheduled it for yesterday. Weather actually did not cooperate, and we had to reschedule this today, and with some luck, at least now we are go. So I start this in a rush to be sure that at least we can exploit this favorable weather, and I just want to start sharing the feedback from my robotic telescopes, and then I will introduce you what is happening. But still, let me start sharing images to you, and let's go to start showing this planetary parade. First of all, my friends, I'm sharing with you live images coming from my telescopes in central Italy, and let me just ask the telescope to partially adjust here the pointing so that I can start showing what the telescopes are seeing. As you can see, we already asked the telescope to SLU to observe Saturn, and in fact, I want to show you planet Saturn right away, at least considering that it is setting, so that we can see it before it leaves the sky. So I'm just asking the telescope to grab an image. Let's wait. Here it is, planet Saturn. You can easily recognize the shape. The rings are edge on, and this is why you are seeing this baffle from the left to the right. This is planet Saturn. Keep in mind that this planet is right now very low on the western horizon. This is why we are not seeing the best image possible. Let me see if I can adjust the focus here. I apologize if I started this right away, as I said, but as the sky is clear and as Saturn is leaving because it is setting, I prefer to start showing you the object before I start commenting what we are seeing. You are on this platform, the Virtual Telescope Project platform, to look up and enjoy the planetary parade. You have read this in many places. There is something happening out there concerning planets, and I have read a lot of things about this planetary, special meeting. Many out there call it this alignment, and this created perhaps a little mistake because the planets are not just aligned in the sense that you can see all of them in the same spot of the sky, one after the other, like if a planet is just on a row, like if they are in the same direction. Okay, this is why I didn't like this word, because many people wrote me just asking if planets, all the planets, were going to meet in the same spot of the sky, because they intended the alignment in that sense. That is, with planets on the same line of sight, one behind the shoulder of the preceding one. This is not happening. We have a parade. I prefer this term, just meaning that yes, we have plenty of planets out there, but they are just in very different directions of the sky, basically from west to east. And the first planet we want to observe is planet Saturn, 1.5 billion kilometers away, and we are enjoying this live feed, the live image from one of the telescopes we are using from Tuscany in central Italy, and you can see planet Saturn here with this one of its satellite, likely Titan. I will check just to be sure, but I want to underline how the rings of Saturn are now almost edge on. This is why you see just like a buffalo from just a line, I would say, crossing the disk of this planet. Unfortunately, the planet is very low on the horizon. This is why we are seeing the object not under the best conditions, and I feel lucky anyway, because we were going to cancel this again because of the weather, but as clouds, for at least for now, decided to leave, and I wanted to be sure that at least we could have some good images live. And this is the planet Saturn through one of our telescopes with its rings. If you look here, I take another image here. This is a much larger field of view, and the planet Saturn now is this bright dot here. I asked the system to take a new image, and this bright dot is planet Saturn. And I also want to show you where planet Saturn is just in the sky. If you look here, this is the star map directly connected with our robotic telescope. The yellow crosshair is where the telescope is pointing, okay? And Saturn is there in the Aquarius constellation, and just a few degrees above it, we have also planet Venus. And I want to go and salute to this object, but before, I want to share with you what is actually happening in the sky right now, if you don't mind, just to give you an idea. This star map, I calculated this for yesterday, but the situation is basically the same, is telling you what a planetary parade is. It just means that you have a lot of planets out there, just visible at the same time, and from the west, right on the image, you have Saturn, then Venus. In the center, very bright, you have Jupiter, and on the left, you have the red planet Mars. Also, Uranus and Neptune are visible. These two last objects need binoculars to be spotted because they are behind the capabilities of the naked eye. But right now, with your very own eyes, you can see 4 planets by naked eye. Mercury is missing, but Mercury will join this in about 1 month, even if at that point Saturn already, almost critical now, will be dramatically critical at the end of February to be spotted by naked eye. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you what a planetary parade is. You have many planets visible at a glance at the same time along the zodiacal constellations. Look at the blue line, that is the ecliptic, that is the projection in the night sky of the orbit of the Earth around the Sun, or if you prefer, the apparent path of the Sun across the constellations. That's it, so that you have an idea of this. I also want to share, if I can, the real sky right now with another imaging device. Here it is, my friends. You can see here Saturn, okay? Very bright Venus. Here you have, again, bright Jupiter, and on the left, in the eastern direction, you have, of course, Mars. This fisheye view is just bringing to you the planetary parade at its in the full shape, as I love to say, and this is something that the virtual telescope is always happy to bring to his friends around the planet. So this fisheye image is just showing all of them, all the planets at a glance. From the bottom right, Saturn. Then you have a very bright Venus. Then you have Jupiter, and on the left, just on the cloud border, you have Mars. Happy that at least we have some clear sky, and I will also ask now the telescope, to move a bit, because I want to show you something very interesting, at least for me. Let me ask the telescope to move a bit, and now I will switch back to the large field of view camera. Look here, there is also an airplane here. This dot is Saturn, but there is something very bright on the edge. Now I just moved the telescope a bit, and hopefully taking a new image now. Let's see what will happen. Look here, plenty of satellite trails, of course, but here you have Saturn, okay, my friends, and this is the very, very bright Venus. I love this image. Let me take an image as well of this, because I want this for future reference. Okay, this is Venus, Saturn 2025, just because, we are doing this in real time. I'm just working remotely on my system, but what you are seeing are just the images, real-time images from my telescope. Now I'm taking a 10-second image, and after you can see the image on the screen. There are plenty of satellite trails, but again, this is planet Saturn and this is Venus. Let me take a longer, perhaps dramatic exposure, because two of the planets part of this parade are basically sharing the same spot of the sky. Two of them, not all of them. They are, I repeat, Saturn here and the very bright Venus. They are several degrees apart. They were apparently closer in the sky. Keep in mind that there is a huge difference in the distance, because planet Saturn, of course, is much more distant than Venus. Let me calculate this right away. For example, we know that Saturn is about 1.5 billions of kilometers from us, while planet Venus is about 80 million kilometers. They share the same spot of the sky, but it is, as I said, it is a matter just perspective, my friends. So happy that we are seeing them here in real time, as I said. Now I will ask my system to take an image of Venus with the other telescope. Not sure we will succeed, because Venus is so bright that perhaps it is so dazzling that perhaps the big telescope can perhaps be I mean, it's a very sensitive camera, perhaps cannot record the light of Venus without saturating. We will try right now. Keep in mind that the telescopes I'm using are generally used to do astrophysical research, not for this kind of things. And so we are trying, and because this was something relatively special and we wanted to share. So anyway, let me see what will happen. Okay, we have done with this, with the large field of view lens. Then let me ask the system to go and slew on Venus. Here we will have, this is Saturn from the previous image. I will close this, and now I will try to take a test image, just putting here the shortest exposure time I can. Let's see how this will work. I think it will be too much bright, and in fact, despite we are using filters, look how bright Venus it is. But still, while this strange feature is showing, because there is too much light from Venus, and even using the shortest exposure available on our scientific camera, the light from Venus is still too much. We are also using a very strong filter, but it is too much. But perhaps here you can recognize the shape of a crescent, as it is typical for Venus to show. Anyway, at least we could observe Venus as well. Before we go and see the other bright planets, I also want to try to show you planet Neptune. So let me try if I can do this or not. It is not far, you see, in the same spot of the sky. Look here, the telescope, as I said, is pointing where you see the yellow crosshair, while the red crosshair is where the object I asked for is. Again, this is just matter of perspective, because Neptune is very far away. Anyway, let's go and salute the telescope to Neptune. You see the yellow moved just to to remind us that the telescope was moving, and now the yellow is on the red crosshair, meaning that the telescope reached the destination. So go and see what we will have here with the planet Neptune, asking the system to take an image, a longer exposure, because of course Neptune is not visible to the naked eye. And here it is, planet Neptune, my friends. This dot here is planet Neptune. In a few minutes, we already visited 3 of the planets available out there. Sorry for this. And even if Neptune is not visible to the naked eye, I'm still happy to show it because, as I said, it is in the sky right now. So why not showing it, my friends? Okay? So happy. Just reminding you that the distance of Neptune from the Earth is about now 4.5 billions. 4.5 billions of kilometers. So while Venus, Saturn, and Neptune are basically sharing the same spot of the sky, as you can see here very easily, Saturn, Venus, and Neptune, they are at very, very different distances. Venus about 80 millions of kilometers, Saturn 1.5 billions, Neptune is at 4.5 billions. Let me take also an image here, centered on Neptune, for the record, as they say. Let's take just a couple of images. Here we are. Always checking the weather, because we really don't want to destroy our robotic systems. The telescopes are in Italy. Sorry, I see that I was not showing. Sorry for this, my friends. So I will show you Neptune right now. Here it is. This is planet Neptune, my friends. And this is, as I say, 4.5 billions of kilometers. Here it is, sorry. The third planet we saw. At this point, let me ask, look here. It will be funny to see who is who here. Not sure here who is Neptune. Perhaps we will give it a try later. But just to underline how these objects share the same spot of the sky, very likely Neptune is here, one of these. This is a much larger field of view system, and this is Venus. Let me see, looking here, if I can actually take an image to be sure that we have all of them in the same image. Positioning the telescope. Okay. Just to be sure that we have all of them in the same image. I will publish all these images later on, tomorrow very likely, on my website. Let's take now a longer image. I will call this image Venus, Saturn, Neptune. Let's take this 1 minute. So while we wait for this, I want to remind you about what we are seeing. You have read everywhere about this planetary alignment. while I mean, you have read this, you have to understand what alignment mean. I have seen many people understanding the wrong idea. When they say alignment, they cannot say that planets are just one behind the shoulder of another in the same direction along the same line of sight. This is not true. The alignment is not in that sense. This is why I don't like the word alignment. I prefer to use parade here because this way you understand that something special is happening. A planetary parade that is with many planets visible at the same time, but they are just spread all over the sky, basically from west to east. What is interesting, and I shared the image earlier, is that planets are always, I mean, in a special road in the sky, the zodiacal constellations. I want to find this map again. Here it is. Look, on the right west you see Saturn and Venus. There is also Neptune, the planets we observed so far. Just in the center of the map you have Jupiter, and on the left you can see the red planet Mars. The blue line here is the ecliptic, that is the projection in the sky of the Earth orbit around the Sun, and all the planets are along that line. They are forced to stay there. This is absolutely normal because having the orbits of the planet basically on very similar planes is a consequence of the rules, the physical rules, who actually were at work at the solar system formation more than 5 billion years. So it's absolutely normal to have the planets along the same road in the sky. I mean, along the zodiacal constellations path, because, as I say, their orbits, for physical reasons dating back to the origin of the solar system, that is conservative laws in the dynamics, which was at work at that time, they are now on orbits on very similar planes. So it's absolutely normal to have this kind of disposition in the sky. What is, less obvious is the possibility, like now, to observe basically all the planets at a glance. We are missing Mercury, as I said, but by the end of February, Mercury will join the show, but at that time Saturn will be very difficult to spot. Anyway, we are having fun what we have right now on our head. And this image again is a picture I wanted to take because, as I said earlier, this way, if you don't mind, let me take another image. Let's see if we can, I want to try, let me see if I can, hopefully. Okay, I'm just trying to identify where Saturn is, my friends. Not easy, but let me try. While the telescope is now taking a new exposure, you see. Okay. We have Venus. Sorry. I want to thank you, by the way, for joining our live feed today. Many of you were hoping to see this yesterday, but as I said yesterday, clouds did not cooperate at all. But still, we are happy to be here. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can recognize where Saturn is. Something not very obvious, but still, let's see if I can recognize this or not. Otherwise, I will produce a map later on. So happy, my friends, that we are observing this together, provided live via the Virtual Telescope project, brought to you for free. You can consider supporting the Virtual Telescope project by donating if you want. Just visit www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. This is what is keeping this project alive and ready to bring the real-time sky for free to the world. This is Saturn, this is Venus, and somewhere here, I need to check this more carefully, you have planet Saturn, planet Neptune. I was trying to identify, but I need to very likely to carefully look at these images, at these stars. But as I said, be sure to find on our social media the images from this live feed. Okay, my friends, I want to move on, and now we will go to look at planet Jupiter. Jupiter, you can see, is in the eastern side of the sky right now, and I will ask the telescope to slew there. So you will see the yellow moving pretty fast across the sky. The telescope is, of course, controlled by this. And via this software, we can ask the telescope to slew whatever we want. And we ask it right now for planet Jupiter. Let me show you. Look how beautiful now the vision is, with Saturn here, Venus here, Jupiter here, and Mars here. We are having a lot of fun right now. But with the telescope now stopping on Jupiter, I have to reduce the exposure after we used a longer time for Jupiter. Okay, if you don't mind, before I want to show you Uranus, okay? Because Uranus is just moving from the east to the west, and if I will wait, we will have to go back to the west, losing some time, and we are short on time because clouds can be back anytime. So I really prefer to just live on this planet, but I did the wrong, so I had to stop at some point. Don't worry, let's stop this, okay? So I will take image. Very likely I will have an error message, yes, but no problem. And let's take an image of this. Just wait. And I have to, oh sorry, I need to, okay. Using the entire full field of view. And here it is, my friends. This bright dot of light here is Uranus. Let me take for the record a longer exposure. So 4 planets so far. Saturn at the beginning, Venus, then Neptune, and now planet Uranus. Here we are, my friends. Not bad at all. While we are here, I also want to capture an image of Uranus, a couple of minutes, if you don't mind. Here we are. So I apologize if from time to time I forgot to show you the other telescope. I will show you Uranus now. Here it is, sorry. I acquired this with the main telescope. I had a quick comment for this, but you were still on the all sky camera. I'm using as much instruments as I can in order to bring to you the best possible, and sometimes I mix telescopes. And I apologize for this, but at this point you should be able to see Uranus. Here it is, my friends. Just waiting also for the other image to show. 40 minutes to go. As you can see, we have basically 6 planets visible there: Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars. We spotted 4 of them so far: Saturn with Venus and Neptune, and then now also Uranus. I'm just taking a 2-minute exposure with our color imaging camera so that I will have images to document this, and very likely, my friends, this should be Uranus, I think. Let me see if I can identify Uranus or not. Okay. Okay, let me see if we have some obvious. It's not easy to do this right away because, of course, we are not having. I mean, I'm not at my office right now in the comfort needed to identify who is who here. But I will take this task for tomorrow. So just be back on our website tomorrow, and I will be showing you on these images the much difficult Uranus and Neptune. But now time for me to slew with the main telescope to Jupiter. Here we are, sorry. And now let's go and ask the telescope to slew and look at this object, this planet Jupiter. Telescope is still moving. And now we are reducing the exposure time, as Jupiter is much brighter than planet Uranus. And let's take this image and look. Here it is, our object with a couple of satellites. We will identify them. Just wait and okay. Another satellite very close, you can see to the planet. Let's see if we can just isolate a few features on the giant planet here. Okay. Oh, we are in the condition, if you look, even if the sky is not perfect, to spot evidence of Jupiter equatorial bands, those darker features. And this is planet Jupiter. Let me ask the software as well to show us. Okay. Let's go and enlarge. This is a simulation, my friends. I want to be clear because I just was interested to spot the satellites. Here we are. Let's remove the stars. Let's remove these other elements. And let's have a look now again to the image. Pushing contrast. Okay. So we are on Jupiter. As I say to you, this is a simulator, okay? It's so nice that we are having this site in real time again. Let me ask the system, if you don't mind, to see you on one of the satellites. Here it is. Ask the telescope to view. Let's take now another image. They are very close to the planet. Keep in mind that the Ganymede, Europa, Io, and Callisto are the four largest moons of Jupiter, okay? And they were discovered by Galileo more than 4 centuries ago. Let's go to Callisto. Let me take an image. Sorry for the scale so small. This is Callisto, of course, one of the Galilean moons, as I said. Now, let me check one thing, sorry. I want to be sure how good focus is. It should be nice. Sorry. Yes, it is. Let me just try to increase this a bit. New image. I hope you understand that what I'm doing here is real-time imaging. What you are seeing is coming from the telescope right away. It is very different from the beautiful, fully processed images you find on websites, magazines, okay? So we are seeing the real side of astronomy this way. Now back to Jupiter. And let's take another image of our giant planet before we move to Mars. Let's see, here it is. Look how beautiful, very nice image. Has we really see features in the huge atmosphere of the giant planet Jupiter, brought to you live via the Virtual Telescope project. Images are coming from the Virtual Telescope project facility in Manciano, Tuscany, central Italy. It is time for us to slew and visit, at this point, the last planet of the parade, that is Mars. Let's go to see Mars. Look how many Starlink satellites right now are crossing the sky. I forgot to take a large field of view image of Jupiter, sorry. I will do this soon after capturing Mars. The red planet, sorry. Okay, let me stop this. Let me see. If we have, let me reduce the exposure here. Okay, this is the red planet, as I'm using a red filter basically to, and in fact it is still too much. Let's see how now. Okay, here it is, Mars, my friends. And now I will take of Mars. Just let me ask the system to take a long image of Mars. Okay, it will take a couple of minutes, and in the meantime, of course, I will be back here. So this is planet Mars, my friends. The last planet of the parade we observed today together, thanks to the Virtual Telescope project robotic facility in Italy. Right now, of course, the planet is Venus. Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after the moon. Then you have Jupiter and Mars. But you know, the light of Mars is as a strong red component dominating it. So happy that we succeeded with this, my friend. Oh, sorry. Here it is. Our bright planet Mars. Now I'm taking also an image here. You will see the orange blob of Mars in 30 seconds or so, at the very end of this parade. Okay, let's wait 10 seconds to our final image. Then I will view back to Jupiter to capture 2 minutes exposure of it. Look, let me check one thing, my friends, if we can do a nice image right away. Okay, I want to check if we can frame. I think so. Let me see. I will put the stars back here. Okay. If we ask the telescope to slew there. Okay. I want to see if we can put together Mars with Castor and Pollux. How beautiful this quick exposure was, my friends. Let's take a quick image. At this point, we should see, okay, look how beautiful this spot is, my friends. I will tell you who is who. Okay, I will put very likely the center here. Let me see if this works or not. How beautiful this shot will be. Okay, I just want to put this a bit more in this direction. Let's check. Perhaps you understand what I'm doing. I want to take an image with Mars together with those two bright stars, the twins. Here we are. Okay, Mars, Castor and Pollux. Let's go. And I will show you who is Castor, who is Pollux. This is what we are seeing now. And let me add the names of the stars. Here we are. Thank you for understanding that doing everything live. So you can see Mars here, Pollux here, and Castor here. That is Mars, okay? I understand how different the things could be, but this is Mars, this is Pollux, and this is Castor. Let me remove the crosshair. This is a quick image. This is why I asked the system now to take a deeper image so that we will have something beautiful to share with you in the coming days. I hope you enjoyed this live feed. Keep in mind that this parade will be out there for weeks, so you can see at it many times. You can support the virtual telescope if you like what we are doing for the world for free. Visit www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. We have been here for 18 years now, literally introducing this format of live observing with live commentary. And let's see, look how beautiful this image is with the clear blue color of Castor, the red color of Pollux and Mars. But again, I want to be back, as I mentioned earlier, because I need to take a deep exposure, large field of view exposure of Jupiter. So happy that at last we could have fun with this. Let's wait the last 2 minutes. You can see here the countdown, 120 seconds, 2 minutes, and we have to wait this to reach 0 in order to see the final image with, I expect, a very bright Jupiter, while the weather is quickly deteriorating. So I would say we've been very lucky so far, my friends. Thank you for waiting. We spotted all of them. We saw Saturn, we saw Venus, we saw Neptune, we saw Uranus, we saw Jupiter, and we saw Mars. All of them, of course, Saturn, Venus, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Mars are just 6. Mercury is missing. But I remember April 2022, when I spotted all of them, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. At that time, the sequence in the sky was the same as the sequence from the sun. And it was funny, really funny. So let's wait for 30 seconds before we go. We see the last image here, my friends. It has been a pleasure. We are scheduling new live feeds. There is always something great to look in the sky and share to bring to the community. Look, the magic with the bright Jupiter here, my friends. And with this image, Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project Italy, is thanking all of you for joining. I hope you had a great time with us. It was a pleasure and privilege to bring the Planetary Parade to you. And if you want to join future similar events, just subscribe the Virtual Telescope Project Facebook page, or regularly have a look at Virtual Telescope website at www.virtualtelescope.eu. If you want to support us, you can do this quite easily. And I want to thank the few people supporting us from time to time, and it is thanks to them that we can keep this project up and running, because we have no funding funds from other sources other than our supporters here. And you can support us by visiting www.virtualtelescope.eu/donate. That's all, my friends. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us on our website, our YouTube channel, and I'm wishing the very best and looking forward to share again the cosmic beauty with you in real time. Thank you very much and take care.